today on Rappler. The Philippines files a second appeal to review the case of Mary Jane VELOSO, a Filipina on death row in Indonesia. Former Senator Ping Lacson says he's considering running for president in 2016. And Oscar de la Hoya says appointed super fight referee has a history of protecting Mayweather.
Hello and welcome. I'm Maria Ressa. This is Rappler's Wrap for the day, a list of the most important events around the world you shouldn't miss. The Philippines files a second appeal to review the case of Mary Jane VELOSO, a Filipina set for execution in Indonesia. VELOSO's lawyers say the appeal will contain evidence on the alleged illegal recruiter who supposedly duped Mary Jane. The request was also supposed to include a complaint that VELOSO is a trafficking victim. The second appeal comes after Indonesian officials transferred VELOSO to Nusa Kambangan Prison Island in Cilacap, Central Java, early Friday morning. Prison warden Zainal Arifin says VELOSO was very calm during the transfer. The 10 inmates from Australia, France, Ghana, Brazil, Nigeria, and the Philippines are supposed to be given 72 hours notice before execution. No date for the executions have been made, and no one, including Mary Jane, has received a notice. Mary Jane tells her mother her last wish is to, in her words, bring my body home. Indonesians also appeal for Mary Jane. Violence Against Women Commissioner Azriana demands Indonesian President Joko Widodo, or Jokowi, amend the law. Azriana says saving Mary Jane would be a gateway to save 227 Indonesian migrant workers on death row overseas. Former Senator Ping Lacson announces Friday he is, in his words, positively contemplating running for president in 2016. Lacson's currently making the rounds of rural areas to, in his words again, get the pulse of the masses. Earlier this April, a 30-second video appeared on social media floating his name as a presidential bet in 2016. Lacson says his campaign will focus on eradicating graft and corruption in the government and on restoring peace and order. He had the same platform in 2004 when he first ran for president and lost to then President Gloria Macapagal-Arroyo and actor Fernando Poe Jr. Aside from pushing to restore the death penalty, Lacson says he plans to build a secluded detention facility on Caballo Island off Corregidor for government officials facing trial for graft and corruption. The facility will have its own clinic, he adds, so officials under trial won't have any excuse to petition for hospital arrest. If he runs, he adds, he will again be an independent candidate. Lacson considers Senator Grace Poe his stiffest competitor for the presidency. Ironically, she is the daughter of the actor Fernando Poe Jr., whom Lacson ran against in 2004. New Customs Commissioner Alberto Lina takes his oath at the customs turnover ceremonies. Lina vows to double down on reforms and continue the good governance and process reforms initiated by his predecessor. Referring to former Customs Commissioner Sonny Sevilla, Lina says, quote, I intend to carry on the good governance and process reforms he has started. On Thursday, Sevilla resigned, saying he's not comfortable with politics taking a role in customs appointments. Sevilla is the third person to leave this post under the Aquino administration. Only former President Fidel Ramos kept one customs commissioner throughout his entire term. That man was Guillermo Paraino Jr. The fashion industry is waiting for the royal baby. Whether it's a boy or a girl, this royal baby seems set to influence fashion trends all over the world. It's called the Kate effect because clothes that Kate Middleton or Prince George wear quickly sell out. Kate's maternity wear and Prince George's baby clothes prove in demand. There are also different sites dedicated to analyzing what clothes mother and son wore. Some brands pay commission to whatkatewore.com if it drives traffic to their sites. Oscar de la Hoya blasts the selection of Kenny Bayless as referee for the upcoming super fight between Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather Jr., saying Bayless has a history of protecting Mayweather. He said, quote, Pacquiao is now up against two guys in the ring instead of one, so I would have to say that Pacquiao is already 1 point behind and the fight hasn't even started. Former world heavyweight champion George Foreman also weighed in, picking Pacquiao to win on points. He says, quote, This could devastate him as a boxer, not as a man, but as a boxer. He might have to go out in the country somewhere if he lost. Foreman certainly knows the feeling of losing for the first time when he notched loss number 1 in 40 fights against Muhammad Ali in the 1974 Rumble in the Jungle in Zaire. Pacquiao received more celebrity visitors with a little more than a week to go before the super fight. Keanu Reeves dropped by Pacquiao's home in Los Angeles, California, while frequent visitor Mark Wahlberg visited him at the Wild Card Boxing Club. Pacquiao also stars on another Foot Locker commercial that references his previous one last year. In the commercial, Pacquiao watches himself in the new ad, watching his old one. Very meta. For those on desktop, click on the links on your screen. You could also click on the tabs below to go to a story in the video. And for those on smartphones and tablets, the links can be found below the video. Rappler has a patented user engagement model that puts a mood meter on every story. If we take a look at the mood navigator in the middle of the front page, you can see the story that's gotten the most number of votes in the last 24 hours is this one. Customs Sevilla, the resignation yesterday. Political nominees last straw. You have a whopping 86% angry, 10% sad, but that red bringing out the mood of the day. Today, most people are angry. Well, that is the wrap for today, Friday, April 24th, 2015. Visit Rappler.com for the latest news here and around the world. Check out our other shows, SciTech for You and Rappler Talk. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm Maria Ressa. As we say at Rappler, tomorrow begins today.